Shan and RJ guest and new best friend, Trevon Diggs, took over this practice yesterday. Took over along with the secondary. In one drill against the first-team offense, Diggs had 3 big plays. This is against Dak and the first-teamers, and he ended the drill with an end zone pick. One of 3 interceptions on the day for the entire defense. Diggs also picked off Danucci. No, shoot. I think there's probably 4 interceptions on the day because Kennedy had one, KZ had one, and Diggs ended up with 2. Maybe it was 3 interceptions against Dak. That's what it ended up being. But this secondary was fantastic yesterday with some safeties finally making some plays out here on the day that Malik Hooker came out here in his new number 28.
Yeah.
Unable to practice yesterday, but the new Cowboys safety is out here with his jersey.
Yeah, one of the picks was a tip drill, was a tip ball interception, and then you had the pick 6 was, that was a really nice play. Dak was in the compete period.
Mm-hmm.
And he has looked kind of out of sync in the compete period for a lot of camp. In the 4 practice, I know it's not many practices, but in the 4 he has looked kind of out of sync. He's looked money when there's nobody around, but in that compete period, his timing has just not been there, and it showed yesterday. And the DBs are taking advantage of it. They were jumping routes, and then obviously the tip ball, whatever. I don't really count that, but.
Well, the Tolos also bring up a great point, and we can't
every year
we can't just say this in spring training for baseball and not here. You try throws out here too. You force throws. You try to fit it into tighter windows. Whereas in baseball, you're trying different things. You don't care if you get blown up.
Right.
You're just going to work, specifically on and exclusively on the slider for the day or just the fastball for the day, and whatever happens, happens. We haven't seen any balls thrown out of bounds here. Not one ball has been thrown out of bounds by a quarterback because they're going to try to force different things.
There was a play I took a video of yesterday. I think it was Jarwin in the back of the end zone, that he never would have attempted that throw outside of like a 4th down, where you had 4th down, game on the line. He never attempts that throw because the guy was blanketed, and it was tipped up in the air and it went out of bounds. So you're right. They're going to attempt things. They're going to try plays that they don't necessarily think may work. That's what they're practicing about. That's what they're trying. But also, defenses are normally ahead of offenses early on in camp anyway.
Sure. Yep.
There's a timing aspect of offenses that doesn't play with defense.
Every year. So Kelvin Joseph, Bossman Fats, talking about the Cowboys DBs yesterday, quote, "We're going to fly around, no fly zone. We're going to call it airplane mode. When y'all drop this interview, tell them Cowboys defense airplane mode. You can't throw, no fly zone." So another nickname. I like airplane mode. I do like that. But Kelvin should do a little research on what has happened when Talk Lawrence and Jalen Swipe start coming up with their nicknames and their little committees for this defense that is absolutely stunk.
You might need to play a game before you come up with a nickname for a secondary of no names. I don't know.
My biggest takeaway, by the way, CeeDee Lamb's still flawless, unstoppable out here. You got the video of his Hail Mary catch between 2 people, I think. Wasn't it 2 people that were trying to defend him?
Yeah, they didn't make the best effort. They didn't really jump up for it, but yeah, it was right there. It was Dak rolled to the right. It was probably about the 40-yard line.
Yeah,
he rolled to the right and then threw back left, and there was CeeDee with the jump ball.
So the beginning of the day started with linebackers hitting the sled. And the first linebacker up, and I'm not doing this as our usual sarcastic Jaylon Smith segment. This is for real. Jaylon Smith was first in line working against this sled. And 3 straight times Jaylon did the drill incorrectly. It was like a punch technique that he wasn't executing, and he had to go back and do it again. And I got it on video each time at 105.3 SS if you want to look at it. And maybe, people who played football can tell me what exactly you were supposed to be doing with the drill. But Jaylon didn't do it right the first time. Then he didn't do it right the second time. and he got really frustrated. And then before he did it the third time, meanwhile, you had Van Der Esch go through it. Micah Parsons going through it. I think there was one other linebacker throughout the 3 attempts they had at the drill who messed up the technique, but Jaylon messed it up 3 times. And before he attempted the final one, like, the coach pulled him aside and he's like, look, just do it this way. This thing is kicking your butt today. And you can hear Jaylon's frustration. And I had a Cowboy insider next to me say he has to be feeling the weight. He has to be hearing the talk. He has to be hearing Parsons in the shadows. And that kind of surprised me because Jaylon always comes across as noise canceling. Delusional, really. He's delusional during the games when he's drawing a pass interference and a flag when he gets up to celebrate. He's delusional when they're getting their ass kicked and he makes a stop and celebrates. He's delusional when a play has been blown dead, yet he picks it up and thinks he has a fumble return. So I just assumed that he was going to be, delusional out here. But I had 2 separate people. Well, one person say, I think that the noise has to be getting to him. And I just thought that was just that little small drill really stood out yesterday because he couldn't get it right versus the sled. An easy practice technique that we've seen out here for years, but Jaylon, he was struggling with it right off the jump.
The first thing that I saw that popped into my head when I saw that, we were doing, this was years ago, Broadus and I were doing a pre-draft show, and I don't remember who the player, it may have been Nate Solder, who got like 11 reps on the bench press as an offensive lineman. And I said, maybe he's got an injury, maybe he's got a shoulder injury, and Broadus said, maybe he's just weak. Yeah, maybe he's just weak.
Yeah.
And that's the first thing that popped into my head, like, is he not even able to get the extent, like he's not using his legs, he's going all arms.
Right.
He's just using all arms, no legs. And that was the first thing that popped into my head. Is he not physically strong enough right now to make the sled pop the way it's supposed to extend? Surely not.
Right.
Is changing his number to number 9 mean that he has the same strength as Tony Romo? Surely not. Like that something had to be wrong there.